Welcome. Today I will be paraphrasing, summarizing, and sharing for the February 15th Al Anon readings in Courage to Change and a Little Time for Myself. We'll begin with the Serenity Prayer and 3 mindful breaths. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I'll take a moment to look this over. The question of the day is, how does being accountable to a higher power help my relationships? The passage begins with talking about tradition 2. Tradition 2 is, for our group purpose, there is but one authority, a loving God, as he may express himself in our group conscience. Our leaders are but trusted servants, they do not govern. And just a small note about the pronoun he, himself. Doesn't matter. You can substitute any pronoun that you feel more comfortable with, or you can use that one. It doesn't matter. Not to get bogged down with the pronoun, but so tradition 2, talking about that there's only one authority, our higher power. And this person is talking about how they and their husband don't report to each other, they report to their higher powers. And this person says when their husband is not pleased with them, they're not as concerned if they feel at peace that they are doing the will of their higher power. And if they think about it and they realize that they're not doing the will of their higher power, they can make amends and then change their action. Today's reminder: we keep our serenity when we remember that we are powerless over others, which includes being powerless over people's opinions of us. And we can look to our higher power for peace of mind and guidance. The quote is from Reaching for Personal Freedom. When we receive guidance from our higher power, it helps us to release our need for control and helps us to respect the right of others to have their own opinions. So how does being accountable to a higher power help my relationships? I guess in a way that helps me to behave in a way that I can feel good about, in a way that I feel like that is my higher power's will for me. I'm always asking for the ability to understand my higher power's will for me, that I be guided by my higher power to do my higher power's will. And I feel like when I treat others the way my higher power wants me to treat people, I'm pretty peaceful, regardless of their uh, actions towards me, because I'm comfortable with the only thing that I can control, which is my own actions. So the beauty of that is that I remain calm, and that makes a big difference. When I am calm and comfortable in myself, in my own skin, that has a ripple effect to those around me, and I believe it makes everyone else more calm and more comfortable with themselves, because that's the that's the vibe. It goes the same with like when I'm around someone who's uptight or angry. I definitely feel that. I definitely feel that, but I try not to take it on. I try to uh, do what I can to get my own little rays of light in there. So if I hear someone say something negative about themselves and I don't believe it's true, then I will say something that's very kind and directed towards them, so that it kind of breaks that. And it's usually pretty effective, because I believe it's because it's coming from a place of sincerity and love. Like, I'm not fabricating anything. I'm not saying anything that isn't true. I'm saying what I truly believe, and my motive is to express love and to bring joy to myself and to others. Because when other people are happy, I'm happy. And sometimes I'm happy even when other people aren't happy, but definitely when people are happy, I I love that, and that makes me happy. Moving along. I will take a moment and look this over. This reading is about working our program, and the passage likens it to learning a second language. It's about kind of immersing ourselves in it and taking the time necessary to learn about it. It's a commitment to practice our program and all the things that go along with it. Attending meetings, reading literature, spending time with people who are in program, listening. and it all gets absorbed. The quote is from Aristotle, and it's about repeatedly doing things so that we can become excellent at it. And that's really paraphrasing. And I think that it's definitely true. I've been thinking about this lately, and I think I've said it before, but not for a little while, but uh, working the steps. I know that step 10 says that, we're always, what does step 10 say exactly? Step 10 exactly says, continue to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. So we're always kind of checking in with ourselves and making sure that we're doing things the way we want to do them. And I like hearing the steps read at every meeting. What I've been thinking about is that I haven't worked the steps in a while. I mean, which isn't true because I'm constantly working the steps, but it seems like a long time ago that I actually had a workbook, was working the steps. But I guess you only really need to do that once. And then you're just kind of deepening your knowledge of it, or I'm deepening my knowledge of it. We were talking about it in a meeting that I recently went to. The topic was sponsorship, and someone was saying that they look forward to having a sponsor so they can work the steps with their sponsor. And I was thinking, what if someone that I sponsored wanted to work the steps? Like, I would really have to think about how to go about doing that. I did it with my sponsor, and I remember how I did it. I used an Al-Anon workbook to do it, and then talked with my sponsor about each step as I was doing it. And I remember I was trying to do like step 1 in January, step 2 in February, step 3 in March for the whole year. And I think I did that because it was a great pacing. And it was a great way to know that like there was a beginning and an end. So I was highly motivated. It wasn't like this open-ended abstract thing. It was like something that was tangible, and I knew I could always go back if I needed to. So I think that I'm in a pretty good place with my program, working my program like a second language. People still bring up sayings and slogans and things that I've never heard of, and I just love it. It's like this whole little culture, and I'm so glad to be part of it. And I continue to learn constantly, and I love listening to people in Al-Anon meetings because it's just such an amazing source of wisdom. It just feels like higher power speaking through these people who speak at meetings, and also my Al-Anon friends and my Al-Anon sponsor. I don't know that I'll ever get over the amazement at just the pure miracle of every Al-Anon meeting that I attend, because we're all volunteers. We're all following this suggested opening and closing and all the guidelines. We're all just doing it because we want to live a life of serenity and peace, and that is just the most wholesome, beautiful thing that I can think of. Just I'm thrilled and so grateful to be part of it. We'll close out with the serenity prayer and 3 mindful breaths. Here we go. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Sending you love. Take care.